John Dramani Mahama Sabri was finance minister, energy minister say womo embo eye oman yesika sem ehu baisa se Sabri said the city no esienya hoden akọ nanim no yenhwe se Israel any Iran omo ntokwa aso ami ema meka yesika sem saso na Sabri eye 6 justices a oman panyini abo mudin se womo enko Supreme Court enko som Sabri na vetting committee atana say womo etoto womo anosa so yebepie mu Western region omanfo mu wo insuche so e de ato abaye ni so omo kwan enye kura into osa ban se womra no womra meye womo emwa wei ene nsem kaye ka ho na mosomfo abena chei bo achemede ba bedamo se premo kase Africa se no enchemu His Excellency John Dramani Mahama abo justices ahodo eye ensia edina ne na vetting committee atana sia womo etoto mano womoji womutuma womako Supreme Court akwakodi womujuma na Sabri di oti adwam a yetoto nano eye justice senyo jamafe eneti adwam madaro mayenko ne hwese de anototo ni siko.
You go to our prisons, most of them are choked, and it's as a matter of judgments, either delayed or wrong judgments or whatsoever. My main worry about those in these prisons are that some of them are not persons whom we should even send to prison, or we should even delay their cases. Someone goes to steal a bunch of plantain. An underage goes to steal some rice in a cooker and is eating. All these people, you collect them, you go and dump them, and sometimes even they are not segregated. The hardened, the non-hardened, all of them are together. What will you suggest to ensure that I will call these people, these little pilfering and what have you, they don't find themselves languishing, sometimes even years, sometimes forgotten, either in being called that they are in detention or they are whatsoever.
So, Honorable Hajaladi, what is the question?
My question is, what will you suggest to be done to those people so that we don't get them going into detention and wasting time?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam, you said we collect them and go and dump them. We don't do that. We try them, and if they are found guilty, they are convicted and sentenced.
Please, I'm not referring to the convicted ones. I'm referring to those that, for instance, you just say, oh, you have to go and come, every day go and come, and the place is choked. When the police cells are full, they remand. You send them to the prisons where maybe they are not even supposed to go. They are the ones I'm referring to, but not the convicted ones.
Thank you, Madam. We as judges interpret the law, the laws you make. If you change the laws, we interpret it accordingly. The prosecutors come to ask for remand because they have not finished with investigations. Madam, you can't ask the people to go home. You remand. But like you are saying, of course, it must be reasonable time. So until the laws are changed, there's nothing the judges can do, please. Thank you. So we are waiting for you to change the laws. Then, for example, the penal system, we are looking up to you. If you change it, fine. Thank you.
Yes.
I think I'm done.
Very well. I'll proceed to give the floor to the Deputy Ranking, Honorable Patricia Apiaje.
Right, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Honorable nominee, going by your CV, I'd like to ask a question, because if I look at the time that you were born and the time that you entered secondary school, I'd like to find out, at what age did you enter the secondary school?
A little less than 12.
specifically?
I went to the secondary school 1970.
Yeah. So we presume that you entered at the age of 11.
11 plus amends, please.
Thank you very much. I found it very interesting because at that time we had people entering secondary school at the age of 13. So I found it very interesting.
Luckily, my father was a head teacher, so I.
Right, thank you. Honorable nominee, how many judges do we have at the Supreme Court currently, practicing judges, and how many are women? I'm talking about current one. How many are women?
Currently, we have two, Justice Avril and Justice Mensah Bonso. And then the CJ Justice Tokono, 3.
And how many in total, please?
13.
13. Thank you very much. Honorable nominee, I'll proceed to bring to your attention that last year, 2024, exactly in June, the Gender Equality Act 1121, was passed. One of the questions I want to put to you at this point in time is that this act mandates gender parity in public appointments. And Article 144 requires merit-based judicial selection. If these provisions conflict, for example, if achieving gender parity requires appointing a less qualified candidate, which takes constitutional precedence and why? Which of the two? I've given you indications of the constitutional and then the legal aspect of it. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, as much as possible, you should send the best to the Supreme Court, or you should appoint the best wherever. You don't use the gender equality thing to appoint somebody who you think is not qualified, but because of gender. So I will always go for the quality. If it means one person who is qualified, fine, go for that person. Don't say because of gender. If the person is not suitable or qualified for the job, you appoint the person to satisfy gender equality or gender parity. Thank you.
Yatwa kase no so His Excellency John Dramani Mahama edi atu edwase woyen hyehyeye se oba besi entoaso suku meche New Public University e Savannah region. Wasesa enhyehyeye we say na Cambodia e National Democratic Congress womo ehyeye e 2024 abra no wo pre e twukunya kase no e na wode etuja omampanyini ekasa e wo Damango Savannah region and odi tuja say sa university ye omoba besi de ebedi mu akutene yie pa e wo honom eye ekuyayo e wonsem ene obade enhyehyemu mecha agriculture ene allied science wosese o man bia betimi etumpon akwa animu a ade betimi aboa pa ekuyayo na afeso obade enhyehyemu se ye hye eye science nso so a eno etimi bom man na echidom emenitimi kwa animu nti wo sere sa NDC won hyehyeye a wode abase feed Ghana program no wo hye se mu ebetimi ebie santo asosuku ebetimi ahye ama emu ebie ye netimi asesa oman Ghana e woni papem.
I'm proud to announce that in line with the NDC 2024 manifesto to establish a public university in all the 6 new regions, I'm happy to announce that a public university will be established in the Savannah region. It will be a university whose focus will be on agriculture and the allied sciences. This university will train the human resource necessary to drive our Feed Ghana program and agriculture for economic transformation agenda. The university will not just be symbolic, it will be grounded in our national agenda for skills-driven development and aligned with our national education expansion framework and the 2025 budget, which allocates increased funding for tertiary infrastructure in deprived regions. Your Royal Majesty, additionally, I have asked the Ministry of Education to establish a STEM senior high school in Tinga in the Bole district, and to set up a TVET Center of Excellence in Salaga. These will provide hands-on vocational training in ICT, construction, green technologies, and agribusiness. To support teacher development, I'm pleased to announce that the Savannah College of Education in Deboya, which was previously a private community initiative, has now been officially absorbed as a public teacher training institution. I've directed the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission and Get Fund to fast-track the recruitment of staff and infrastructure development in the school. Furthermore, work on the abandoned College of Education at Doli near Bole, which was begun under my previous administration, will resume this year.
Yeguswa ewo His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na kache na sabri omampanyin ahye eye yefoto samso afo ene yen enyinam ensoso afo meche Minister of Finance and Energy Minister se womo enye hyehye omo betimi dia bo yen sikasem enho ban pa na ehwe eye mentime ho asene ntokwa bi a amma ne humunu so ewo Middle East. Omampanyini edi nsemi etu dwa no wo kire se enesi ehwa Israel for etimi akoto bomba di akoto Iran na Iran for so antena ho no wo enso so edi anu yi aba wo so atobi edi amane eye Israel for no omampanyini call ne thank you to ewo Damango ewo Savannah region no eno odi tu dwa se ehwe oman Ghana ye yi efiri mu a enye ye se niema bi se esi ewo eye global na say wiase nyina wo hawo bi say esia Ghana for ye ni bambo say ye yefrimu na sa wo hawo yi entimi enka yen ade e betimi aka ye pa enu nti na sa be wo de eto asofo imienu enim say enhihye ye bi esefato mo fo mo nindi de ekoso na chikrugin no mo fa hihye hukom embo ye sikasem no enho ban pa enkanka se ba ye fa nwo no so anei se de esi de esi enya ahode ama ye ho hare ye no wo mo nya hwe ye so betimi aboye ho ban.
My profound appreciation to His Royal Majesty, the Yegwenra, the chiefs and people, Queen Mothers, youth and women of the Savannah region for your unwavering support, your trust and your prayers. In the most recent elections, you stood firm for our shared vision of fairness, inclusion and transformation. Today, I wish to reaffirm that our commitment to the people of the Savannah region will never shake. Despite the work we have done in stabilizing the economy, Ghana is not immune from the shocks of global events. Recent events in the Middle East, which involve an exchange of missiles between Israel and Iran, have started to escalate crude oil prices dramatically. I've asked our Minister of Finance and Minister of Energy to keep a close eye on the development and model the possible impacts on our petroleum prices and prepare measures to protect the recent gains that we have made.
Asana vetting committee yebetena se no matoto justices here. Oma panyini abo mudin dom kuma wo mrahye bedwam enso ene semtwefo eyinhyiemu na ye honorable Patrick Boma ene da oma no omkasaye abusafo ena ye ho ne nkone nkwohwe se de sansemtwefo nhyiemu ne koye.
A couple of weeks ago, the president sent a list of nominees to the Supreme Court, the Speaker, and he read out the names and made a referral to the Appointments Committee. We've received the necessary documentations from the justices of the court through our clerk, and today at 10 we'll be sitting to vet them. It's a constitutional requirement that Parliament this morning is going to fulfill. We'll do our part to interview the justices and submit our reports to plenary for approval or disapproval. At the time that 3 or 4 justices were nominated, if you go and read the Hansard, comments by some ministers of state now, some members of the NDC party, just opposing that with the nomination of 7 justices, you ask yourself questions. But there will always be reasons for nomination. Some will be due to retirement, some will be due to vacancies as a result of ABCD, per the Constitution. So our position is that we don't politicize nominations. You talk about the necessity of nominations when there are vacancies, God forbid, when there is death and when there is resignation. Yes, because I've always asked this question on the committee about the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. It's not only on the interpretation of the Constitution. About 7 or so jurisdictions that they encounter every day, given the number, can 13 or 14 of them handle it? Especially when interlocutory appeals, applications from appeals, because they have appellate jurisdiction in all matters. Since 8:30, waiting for us to convene and vet. We are going to cooperate. We've always been a cooperative minority. We've always raised issues where necessary. We've boycotted proceedings where necessary, all within the ambit of parliamentary practice.
Enkane omampanyini abedieche enwukeni meche former second lady Her Excellency Samira Bawumia na sabre wodi ato New Patriotic Party NPP echidifo nyina se ade ebetimi amomatimi edi nkunim ewo 2028 eye nkabomu enti wosre party echidifo nyina se omunyina enkamum wodi nsemi atu dwa wabra kohia party echidifo ewo wejagbawe empesua so en wodi to wo munim se eye ne ho kani eye former Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia wotu ne hosi wo se obehwe ama enkabomu wetimi aba party no enti wosre se omunyina enso nka wo muhumum.
Ghana Bapenia was also me, former second lady of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency Samira Bawumia. Atoto edi asre MPP amanyuko efiri empenifo so edi kwaka ase for so se wono enkom humum se yafunu ba akumuma esanse prayo hoyi. Wi ba kwa egu kambo mu a emu na wono enhwe so mehwe omani mutin na womo ekom hubom na sasumdwe nso eba amanyuko ni mu a ebeboa ama mfempene ni aduonu wotwe womo esimi afa nkunimdi abotire na soa ewo Omamu no abaso edbetintim so ni nyina emu.
By the grace of God, but the church said we have to strengthen the party, we have to unite our forces. We need energy, we need commitment, we need dedication to win in 2024. And I want to assure you that His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is committed to that cause. So you make it maintain and you are reclaiming power.
Ne boy ake wo party MPP me ba boy le samo na ka fiole ni 2024 elections and Greater Accra results and the shock of especially the parliamentary seats. Work 15 in they work 5 Bashia 5.5. The Eastern region work 25 Midday. Governor in Domomi, they work 24 Bashia. There are 2028 elections there. Over Ghana fair one constituency. Greater Accra 2016 won 21 seats. We want our new work 25 in 2028. Nofian about Greater Accra. Nofian only work about Greater Accra. Koni will sit there from 5 to 25. Work about 1 year.
Yeah, talk as so Minister of Defense Dr. Kofi Omanebo Amana Sabe odia to just say abayin hye say wo bema eye mabunufo entity ye 1 million coders program no wo sere se obia emfa ne ho enhyem kanka wo mo a omubenya emuwura no wo se we say ba beboa atete mabunu ama ewa abefo kwan so wo manya entity ye wo se digital skills wo se eno na nei ewo ho no ma eboa Emma Emma na say mabunu etimi eko omanim wo se sa digital skills yi enye se baba ye bibia keke na mum baba boa mabunu na afen so no eno na nei aye passport ebe ma onye se omo de kwakotu kwan keke na mum se de ne ewiase esi eko nanim no ebetimi aboa wo mudwumedie aboa wo mu asetene mu nso.
Honor of speaking at the London School of Economics about Ghana's bold and forward-looking initiative by the President John Dramani Mahama administration, the 1 Million Coders Program. This program is about giving young people the tools that they need to thrive in a digital age. Skills in artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, coding, data analysis, and more. These are not luxury skills for Silicon Valley. They are becoming basic survival tools for modern life. Whether you want to be a teacher, doctor, farmer, engineer, artist, or policymaker, digital literacy will amplify your impact. We are building capacity to solve real Ghanaian problems. How to improve healthcare with data, how to protect farms with smart tools, how to use AI to boost learning in our classrooms, how to defend our nation more intelligently and securely. Think of this way. Digital skills are the new passports, not just to travel, but to thrive in today's competitive world. The future isn't waiting. It is already here. And this is how you meet it prepared.
Needs of the school and challenges. Bank beds. Empire Daso. We are in dire need of bank beds. We need 500 bank beds. We need 100 tables, 200 benches for dining hall. We need 700 classroom desks. We need to refurbish existing old toilet facilities in the various boarding houses. We need to refurbish and retool the science laboratories and the visual arts studio. We need a new school bus. We need to paint and repair and maintain our classroom blocks. We need 100 pieces of computers, and we need to put back to road the abandoned Ford pickup.
Said ya beya aban ani so ade hu ebetimi abamu se otu eye galamsey for esosa ama ene yensase ne yensuo so ani ate ama yensase so afa ne ntoma pa efra ne ntino enam so ama Upper Denchira West District Assembly for etimi aye ncheche enhye mu ewodua so ama Small Scale Miners Association mo wo mpesua so
Onsense hase no abribia ka se nananom na ye wo nsase nanam na ye wo nsase nti normal ebia obi kwaye mine na okọ nanam ho ansa enu nti nu ye be hya se ye be engage nananom pa ne ambo mate ase se ade na omo ye e de ohawo ba ne hawo no so ba eye oman ne atimu no amanfo no na hawo no eba ma wo enye wono na nko a licenses no onim say abandada na otwam no man kofo bebre e na aban hofru abai yese pese nsuye na niti bebi omu ye adwuma no omu jai omu nyaaya wo san akoma licenses a na chese wo fo aso se omu nyadai omu nkoso anya adwuma no enu ntinu ye hwe se omu free forest no mu na omu free nsuye no mu nso obu free ma nim say aban no be ye de be koso na licenses no or the amount
engagement here is simply to find out how we can reclaim the land. We are not saying that what we are doing is legal. We know some of you have certificates. You are doing a community and a small scale mining. Some are doing illegal mining. That one, we will continue to enforce the laws. We will continue to arrest them and arraign them before court. And so you see these days, we come around to arrest them and take them away, to go and process them for court. That we shall continue until those who are mining in the rivers or water bodies, then in the forest reserves, until they stop.
First, let me say another humanity. From 2012, 13, 14, 15. A free system banner here, I say, a human year, I feel I say, it's the first now association task force name. Baby, I know, or Mopa Mania, Yen, John, Yen Pabako, the John Yen, you say, and yeah, stop us any Panajuman. And then, so for to be a Juma, one way, of course, I will be young. This is one so all your agents say, and you say, in an intimity. Into your best ramping for. Sir, assembly no better association, not problem, say, oh, piano. A do maybe not say assembly no bra, or money time for your arrest. And but small scale for a man, yes, sir. Saying you, it is saying I'm more day. I can farm. Nay, so Yako, Nipan and Nakasa. A boy as well, a bumping for a man here.
And I said, dear, Sidi na ho den akosro ama dollar akofom. And I'm so ama shintia dear and so empayinfo atete so. You make be no ho so mo niema. Wo mo atete so we and I'm so ama wo mo mutu anwea wo kwawu wo mo so atete wo mo bo so. Na UTV News any chairman Emma National Association of Sand Stone any tipper truck or mo eku wo kwawu. Nana Kofi Onona echiremu a wose nei se wofa full load se wofa anwea truck na mapa wo mo ate so 100 cedis sa so na single axis no so yate so 50 Ghana cedis was chiremu a wose se sidi no anwode ne to so a ekosoro ema dollar no eba fomu a wo mo ehye bose wo mo besen ate wo mo ebo no so krompa asene se di huni
see fango no see the first ye koto a etua no see entua sa biem eso ate aba fom ka you enunti adwode atwa mu yi empanifo e wokofo dua efre ye nyina ye regional ene branch chairman for no nyina be hia e mo de empanifo no kan anase chairman ya odaya no e wa eastern region ha e fe na sapon e di tudwa se obi anko no nkote ne boso sese de yankopon adom baby ananka kan ye de anwea kwa de agibia no yati bia so 100 cedis ena ketwa no yati 250 ebo ni nyina faako ye fro bepo no ko bepo na chi ibisu ko aframansuja enti ebo ana wutua kan no ka ne ye kese a yati so 100 ye ketwa yati 250 enkoko kan no anazi mprimpre ye kasai ye de gi 2800 ye chana ka kese pa no enti se ye basi yati so dia ye de meba 2700 ena ketwa no so di China na chi no eno so ye 1400 enti se ne enti so e ba e de 1350 quantity scan mu wo di komu a 14000 wo di basi se di mu a 1400 na me no ka sai ye wie press conference pa a china ye de chassis wa 1 2 days bia no region be sanction wo titani na wudi animu no
adwuma ye no ye corporate social responsibilities ni nyina ye nim na ye no mu ehia so abribia ndi omo ka bia ye ma hom na abribia bi wo ho anopa tututu aye kopepe no mo sisi kwan no eno ne ye sere om se omo enya isa ne ma no bibia ehiom bia no onfanto krata so yenso yaso ye mra ye behwe se ye beye ama ye no nyina transumdwem.
Ya to akase na so ayesha kase ya se ene de tuja justices enso His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Abomudin ye kokoshe said ye anototo ni si kwa bra vetting committee atena se na justice senyo jamafe enete edwema ye toto na no na no na sabre wode atuja se nei se obepie mu ewo court na o how dada na ewo honom no isanse kamia ye said dodo na isan baby piece na dia ebetimi aboa ati wo how no dodo na so ye cheche se esi etimi enya court na dodo na enu betimi yi wo how no bi every honoma ensa meka dada no eho.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Anybody who wants to maximize productivity must first think of the human resource. That is a mistake a lot of people make. First, think of those who will give you the product. So, Mr. Chairman, the first is to motivate the staff. Motivate the staff. Then number two, if you want work to go on fast, you mustn't load one entity too much. So what do? We need more courts. When we have more courts, the job is spread thin and it goes faster. Number three, after the courts, what next? You need the tools, the working tools. Because if you have the courts, you have the resources, and you don't have the working tools, it doesn't work. So what do? We must go technology. We need the tools, technological tools now. Time of long handwriting is past. So we have to go to AI tools like voice recording and transcriptions, so that by the end of the day, just as the court finishes sitting, the records are ready. Then, Mr. Chairman, we also need to go virtual courts, so that you necessarily don't have to go to the court before you give evidence. Such that when you are not there, it has to be postponed, or you have to travel all the way. So when you have virtual courts, you can still give evidence wherever you are, and the case goes on. And last but definitely not least, I think we must set timelines for cases. Let's say criminal cases, 3 months, civil 6 months. There must be timeline. Then the parties as well as the court knows that we are within certain time period to finish cases. Thank you.
Abusafo sabe kwa kopiemu ewo gomua yenyano na farefo a mo ho no momante asemude tidal waves eni ensu nyantam a etoye no asesei wo mo kodoɔ wo mo neta wo mo anwene nyina ama mo outboard motors enso so asesei na wei na nam so ema UTV news eni afarefo mo ho akan bi etwetwe nkomo wo mo simpepre idea emo mo hie free aban ho eyesika said the bear by betimi abaso o masene no motimi anya kodoɔ ni be sanse kodoɔ ni bi ho no kompona asese ya wusiesie a enyeye ti said the bear o betimi anya fofo na wei ene wo modwuma o moye mo nsa ekoma no said the bear wo mo dada system so betimi ahare wo mo nti wo mo sra ban se wo mra me so mo chi na wo mo awo mo
obo tu afipran ni wo begin la ko ne bele wasin supan wo do bakanim yaba ya ma ana wo nya wa acho wo kosol make say mana yehu ibasa wa ka kwal an yehu ni njala so ya ba la dia amene ya tre yaman no so we butu ma ogbani wa se kwal ya yansa aka baga kala njala so ya ba yaman yan kofi yaman we butu yaman no so ni sidun anya medoni no so wa se umule mpanende asama atun yanka
ye bote ade aduma no asai kla ye na tinusu yehu nti yesle machine dia ofie but ye net ena ye shama ni nyina efite wole legin efe egme wocho ni wole le un ekumi waya un le un fe fite
ne kechoro ne ejelawa lele ejelawa lele hu ejelawa ya hu lele ejelawa o so ne yele to 40 million lele ba to mo 700 net no yebe 150 million net ni won ga oni mo lupa abakwa mi awo eji no ne ba ni otu wo ke wa mo go na ba wo
oni bi ete fe fiti so won ne ya fi o no ba nyon protect lelele bi ani baba sa apele hi to mo melo yo ka bene fele na ka a fele bene yo da ne fele la ba fiti more than 2 billion pa ban fa fire ke le yo no yo o ke ngme awu mi fi o ne wawo
opiti ye mami afolukwe na abirodo na ye je asemo ote da mi no ye di kwatu we nti ye de no kwatu mu no asemo ka akire yan de ye nya abotar ho wo de na wa ba nti se second phase ba obahwe na wa ye bi na oja mahe nti ya so ye ta asemo ye yetu onu ofi ho no ye mami ha okomisin onu nso obai onu so ye nyine kan adama asem ya ye kwor ne nche e wo no office ye de kwatu na yim nti asama nda watu yen wa ha no migeji de se the mercy defense no ho a nche ahema ni pi e ho na wadi boko akwato ena kakra obakan na nche o ha kra wo so obotwena wadi abasor ma obaya nti ontum na amfa ho yenyi bi nti ena da masemi watu yen wa ha
Abusofo ya tuwaka seiso ya kwa kupie mu ewo Nyolugu Botingri DA Primary School ewo Nanten District ewo Northern Region na eya rehopa ye mana womuko suku wo ho no mefiri eye nursery kusi class 1 class 2 class 3 class 4 class 5 entaboa ya bobo na enka nchense na nke yedi guso na so we de kwa akoye sere ene yetwa ede aboso na ehu da ho pan a yeni nkataho bia ewo ho eho ena ye mofrei connect so mutata so saa na eye empanfo omuwo krom ho no mankasa timi bo omu moden ebobo mienu bi na esanse nsuo etoye no asen ni nyina asabre omuntimi ensan ensiesie ye mofra ni bi ohonom kompo na eye nade nkonya yi bi ketuwa bi na ebimu enya so tena enkaye ne tena bench so na omo de omo sere so aye table ebi so kwambo de tena fom en wo matwro we say yade a ha dwen yie enti empanfo ani PTA chairman ani achechefo de atudwa so omo sere aban wo omo ka bi wo mu NGOs ahodo se omo mra na omo meye omo moa omo timi ensi bia esefata ne emen so entimi enkomu enkosua de no munya hoto
Saukopie mu ewo suku mu honom adesuafo ewo honom omododo ebeye wo ha ene baako na pavilion bi ewo honom ena yedi omu nyina egu ase a ye kire omade e free nursery ekopem class 5 na UTV kase ekopie mu ewo honi hunu ne se adehye ewo Nyolungu Botingli omobom homoden esi suku dan ni bi ede mamofra no na so be emfie numachi ena ensukese bi toye esai dan na ebesi ne wontimi nsan NCBM na wohwete bia adesuafo no ewo mu a mobo se enkwada ni bi tete bench so eno mode omo sere aye table ena ebi nso etete fom weinam so ama honom mpanyufo ene PTA ede adesrede ekwa ama ban ankrankra wonsem gobie ene nnwumaku ahodo nyina se omadaroma omomaye omadom se de beya enkwada no ebenya baabi part na nya asomdwe amaya kire omade yene Elder Saidu Alhassan edin komose
pambani botolo PTA nkora bebre ewo school hanom nanso bibia enkoye emae nti ama mpanyimfo a yɛwha no yehu edwiriye ye bompa ye se enipa bi bepie ana government be boaye ma ehawa a yefami ehu asi sisi amikese se bade se nsuo beto a school nkora ne teachers ni nyina ebedwane efria bi se nsuo ni to a omunni bebia o begina nti ehae pa ye de yedadwi ato nkrofo bebre enim nanso hwe enkoye emaye nti ye bompa ye se yebenya obi ana yebenya nkrofo bi ana government be boaye a ombetimasi 3 or 6 classroom block amaye saa 2 classroom block a ebubu eda ho no ye na esiye nkofo amu okuma na nyina ye baaye na esi saa 2 classroom block dako etna ma mframa ebe 2 classroom block na edwidwie ema bibia se na esiye no yenya oboafo bia obeboaye ama 2 classroom block ye betimi asansi ye adwen se ye besansi saa 2 classroom block enti yene kane MP no na audit 2 trip of sand ebegu ho maaye ono so audit saa 2 trip of sand ebegu ano bekande ye hunu biom sisi amikese ye ni nipa ye de ye problem beko akotu nenim ama ombeboaye enti ye hwese NGO na private organization a omo ekrom hanomo ombe pie ababoaye
to teshukuru ma
sana hu e school e ade a ehaye pa ohwe pata esi hai nursery ewo baakumu class 1 and 2 ewo baakumu ena 3 and 4 ewo de esi honum ena class 5 ewo sa grass structure na ejina hai nti ye bompa ese ye benya obi a obepie ababoaye masa school ye benya infrastructure ewom ohwe sana school yitia enshara emmanika a kunkwara no onbeba school nti ye stress ye benya NGO na government beboaye ama benya 6 classroom block ana 3 classroom block a yini beje asama isa ho ho ne se table and chair esi patai mu no enshara endorse ya yewo ekroma no ya na ekope benches edebe ka ho omo bebre etna from etro yes Australia government say oma school feeding program emba school hanumu ebeboa emba school nkora na eya omo etiti fie no ombeba school
abusafo ya toka se no so yakopie mu ewo ensu eji eno ewo Western Region Jomoro municipality no manfo mu ho no sabre wo mu etie mu fra banse wo makwan yade a enye kora wo mu kire se emfie bebreni ena yeyi wo mu ayipemu yeyi wo masinchen ye wo makwan ya yensiesie yenye ne hwe wo mu sese sabre wo mu epese wo mu di wo mu no baye ebe krom anase wo mu kwa so piti krompo no so a enwa kwakoye asem kese pesanse wo makwan no enye na rehusem e wo mu mpo ne se abatan a wo mafa afuro a wo mu hwe enimu a wo mpo no wo hwe motorbike so ne de wo matena na waka wo mu na bike no so no mote a wo mu wo we se yade a etete wo mu to wo sere abai se wo mmeremu na wo meye wo makwan ema wo mu
ani de kwan enye paso aye be nkaka se nsuto kwa mpodi abone kwa awbo ya kwa faso kwa ontimito na wa men dise sina ntitwa nsuo no dise o fa nsuo mu bo kwa kwa mpodi ande ise oda kwane de enye kwa ntimito na mu ye hu adumama se be kwa ka fa kwan so kakra ni ma ya na wa tare kwa wa ma
aje beble kwa because buti e kanu e kwan ye you akwa ko fane makwa ba kwa blenkwa you akwa ka mi to form kwani yenti ka mi balance you akwa bobo ya kwa mo ko fane ma mo ba kwa na bobo ya no ba ke na after na mo nyoma ni na gugu form pasa ke blenkwa ti mo se na mo ye kwani ma na se ho se kwani de ase nye de so to yenti mi ko market e fu moto kwa mbari si esi enante ekwa anim ansra motene da aba ka mpo ntimi nko nti ekwa ne de mbeye ni ye fa maye pacho ekwa nwe de yakwadwa ya bre papa anka ne nso to a ya ntimi nko yakwa speti na ya bre yakwa ba bia ya bre kwa ne de anye nti munye de mo foto na ye yakwa ne maye anye sa ya ayi hawo ya su papa
yakwa de papa cho se yekodidwa ya bre manu ntimi kwa na patutu to be baba du krom ha no person adu be se 10 mugo du be metuma pia ka na sa boa ka no so ma bi moto so mefa so a salon fa ne 20 na mo atuma maye ji e kwan de ehia ye kwan no na ban so san share bo se so de kwia no a ko baba ye kwan na maye ti aban no na ye twa no
na tutu sese ye ko dakora ye nya ka kwa ntimi mfa enko nti sese ye me ma ya brewa sese se ade bi kura kawa ye do bedu doctor na wawu kwanu nye Midday de metuma kan obi kwa na akọwu ofem
because for kwan yen sika bi anko did say moto obi oti moto so abobo yam no akọ wo abobo yam obi wa na wasi from na wa pen how na ya fashion the moto ni so kora de wo kwa nya me amwa wa ko yi wa to atwen nti ya kwa ne de enye be meye mai
maami panyin obi ọmọ ekunu moto ekunu wa he ya ti ya bro ọkwan no so
sometimes bi atina moto so awo wahala
yeah moto so de bebre ya ye nipa oyoka de ni na yele wo sure ya moto no atna so ho ye
area adesema mayegina eye ensemi so ne ya home premo kase so yekoba menwa bema eni mado de agudi ensem so ebeto so nko bebia ebeba sesia
prem to break ase boy eye ecobank adaroma eno waso yasene ama ye de bro